from Alaska, where I had intended not to be in my full ski gear to do this, and I had intended to be a nicer day, but here we are, and we're working with what we have, this beautiful view behind me, the Chugach Mountains. So here to riff on redefining success. Thanks for joining. All right, number one, success is not about avoiding failure. It's about resilience and integration. So I had a head injury, gosh, almost 8 years ago now, and I failed by having my rear brakes fail. I went over the handlebars and I was found unconscious in the city park in Anchorage, of all places. So, when I was recovering, the doctor said, you may never get back to who you were before. And I was like, well, I don't want to be that same person. I want to be the person that has been through this, not the person that hasn't been through this, And so it's about coming back. It's about recovering my brain, about healing, and then also integrating the experience. And what was crazy was in the 3 weeks that I was on the couch, really moderately functioning, I realized I could only think about things keeping me alive. So number one, banana and coffee. I also had a broken collarbone. So when I made myself coffee and ate a banana, I was like, all right, I'm not going to die today. That's good enough. Number two, I realized I needed to move. I was living in Houston in this condo that was too big, and it was just the commute, the parking garage, everything was like sucking the life out of me. And so I moved to a smaller apartment where my things filled the room. I was an 8-minute walk from work, and my quality of life went up so much. And the third thing that my brain could think of was, you have to get out of BP, of oil and gas, of this machine that I was in. It's killing you. And I wrote down on the corner of a piece of paper, 2 to 5 years, first Oman, then Iraq, and transitioned to a life of writing, speaking, coaching, aviation, and being a legit part of the Alaska outdoor community. And then I did. I figured out a way to get myself a job in Oman. 2 years into Oman, I got an email saying, do you want to apply for a job in Iraq? I took the job in Iraq. 1 year into that, they sent all the Americans home for a security issue. BP had just sold Prudhoe Bay, my local oil field, and so I took a severance package, and I knew exactly what I was moving on to. And so this failure ended up being a super integral part where I got a lot of clarity into what I wanted to do with my life, what was true for me, quiet my brain and get down to the nuts and bolts of things, and I've failed, professionally, I've failed, in my sports, I've failed in relationships, but all of those have taught me, and they've all come with a blessing, they've all come with a lesson. And so it's not about avoiding failure. What a boring life, right? If you're avoiding failure completely, it means you're not trying. It means that you're not extending yourself. It's never going to be completely smooth all the time, and unfortunately it's never linear. I want it to be linear. And it's about integration, it's about resilience, it's about integrating the experience into who you're becoming. It's about extracting the lessons, not making it wrong, right? Just actually rolling with it and using it to enhance who you are and what you're capable of and who you know yourself to be. So there's lesson number one. Number two, detach from outcomes. Success is in the showing up. So often we are so fixated with goals and outcomes. If I get this, then I'll be happy, or success is achieving this thing. And the reality is that success is in the showing up. It's following the things pulling on you. It's showing up here in this beautiful place and throwing it to the wind. It's showing up in Oman. When I took the job in the Middle East, I was like, can I be successful here? Can a female show up, a Western female show up and be respected? And as it turned out, I've never been treated professionally better in my life. The Omanis, the Iraqis, they were some of the best people I've ever worked with. And I couldn't have goals about, I'm going to go over there and whatever. I just wanted to go over there and see what it was like. I wanted to go for myself and see what the culture was like. And success is in the showing up. As it turned out, I went over there. I made a huge impact. I met so many friends that are like family to me now. I made a difference in their professional lives and was able to give them a chance and support their own development. And I probably achieved more than I ever dreamed of just by showing up and and leading authentically and, just trying. So I think success is in following the thing that's in you, showing up and giving it your all, and then detaching from outcomes, letting it be what it is, and trust that whatever, if you do your best, that's it, right? And I would say that was probably one of the most successful undertakings of my life. As are all the other ones where I just showed up. I could tell stories on that one till the cows come home. There you have it. All right, number 3, design for high vitality, not just high performance. One more beautiful mountain view. As I was learning about flow states, so I'm a certified flow coach. I love flow states because when I learned about flow, I was like, you mean to tell me that all this messing off that I do, all this playing outside, I'm not successful in spite of it, but rather it's the reason for my success, because our brains love being in flow. When action and awareness merge, when you're in the zone, when performance goes to the roof, and it feels so good. And so what I learned is that so often we design for performance. We want professionally, it's KPIs and metrics and goals and plans. And, in skiing, I could ski for performance. In mountain biking, I could ride for performance. But what I realized is that when I do anything for flow, when I design for flow, when I am in the zone, when I work with my flow triggers, when I make flow blocks for complete concentration to knock out an article or knock out some work, then my performance goes through the roof, my creativity goes through the roof, my fulfillment goes through the roof, and everything gets better. And so when I say design for vitality and not performance, I really mean design for flow, design for enhancing all of you. And then the best part is when you design for doing it in a way that feels good, when it taps into, your greatest capacity, the outcome is performance. And so ironically, when you design for flow, when you design for vitality, the outcome is performance. But when you design for performance, it's kind of edgy and rough, and ironically, it's less performance than if you did it the other way. So I think we just really need to flip this whole goals and plans thing on its head and go for vitality and flow, and let performance speak for itself as the outcome.
Because going over them wasn't enough. Now we go through.
4, make uncertainty your competitive advantage. So often, we live in uncertain times, and so the bias is like to create certainty, to create structure, to create, to reduce anxiety by creating certainty. And really, truly, Tony Robbins talks about the 6 human needs. Certainty and uncertainty are 2 of them, and so it's about finding that balance. But really, I think the way to redefine success is to embrace uncertainty and let that be your certainty, that you're certain that it will be uncertain. I ride up here and I am certain that it won't be what I expect. It's windier than I expected. The snow has changed more than I expected. I didn't expect there to be people up here, but here we go, But I expect it to be unexpected. And so, nobody expected COVID to happen, and now we can all say, oh, that happened and we made it through, but we should expect it to happen again. We shouldn't be surprised, right? So if we design uncertainty in, and we design an expectation and a comfort with the fact that we can't predict it, and then we trust ourselves to lean into whatever it is, and like I said before, it's not about avoiding failure, it's not about avoiding challenge, it's about integrating it and being resilient within it. And so same with uncertainty. It's about leaning into it, it's about being comfortable within it, it's about trusting yourself and your team and everybody else to rise to that and letting it bring the best out of you rather than shut you down. So yes, that is what I have to say about that. Number 5, success is about using the best of you in the most authentic way. So we talked about flow states and vitality, right? That is designing things to bring out the best of you, the best of your creativity, the best of your ideas and innovation, the best of your performance. And, certainly in BP, in oil and gas, I always led in an authentic way. And that really was the secret to my success. I was solving problems layers and layers and layers below anything that anybody else was even acknowledging existed, right? I was helping people expand their potential because of my belief in possibility. And that was what caused so much success in Oman, right? Because those guys were super hungry for contribution, and I could be the one that unlocked it. And it was a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. And so really, success isn't trying to fit the mold and do things everybody else's way. It's about bringing out the best of you, using your own particular skill sets, doing it in a way that feels true and authentic. And that's truly what I love about my business now, is it truly takes every part of me. The strategy that I love through creating teams and coordinated and effective action, just like I did when I was leading big teams. The principles of adventure, fueling the best of our thinking, takes all of me and all of my experience adventuring and what I've learned from the mountains. I'm doing this here because this is where I do my best thinking. I always get downloads from being out exploring and just being in big spaces for big ideas. It brings out my love of Alaska, inviting teams to come here and work with the power of this landscape to do their own biggest thinking, their own team building, their own big ideas, their own visioning, and then underpinning that with an actual doability and an actual workable plan, even though I said I hate plans, but taking a vision and underpinning it with a strategy, and then making it a living, breathing thing. And then designing the team around what works best for everybody, everybody's intrinsic motivators and flow triggers and vitality, right? So it's like making a high vitality team, which is everything that I stand for. And so what I love about this business then is it takes all of me. It is using the best of me in service of having an impact and helping others be the best of them. So I say success, whether in an organization or defining your own business, is about using the best of you, using all of you in the most authentic way so that your work can be just a form